Smackdown Live, ladies and gentlemen, 1 week before Elimination Chamber. We got a good show, but you guys know what I want to talk about. You know what I want to be so happy about, but we got to get through the rest of the show first. Opening of the show will be with Daniel Bryan. Now, it's not the point that Daniel did a good promo or if he did a bad one. What it comes down to is the crowd's enthusiasm translated to make people at home more interested in watching the product. And I felt the Seattle crowd was very good. Daniel also talked very well, but it started to pick up once The Miz came out. And The Miz and him, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Could these two be actual friends in real life? You can tell me below. I don't know if they're really friends in real life. But whether they're real friends in real life, if they're acquaintances, or if they truly hate each other's guts, whatever chemistry they have on screen is memorable. It reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Two people that just love to hate one another. It just translates that way. So we got the remaining participants in the Elimination Chamber. Baron Corbin represented himself well. It wasn't great, but it was well. AJ Styles and The Miz are the best talkers amongst them. And I'm not crapping on Dean Ambrose, but Dean is not as strong of a talker as AJ and The Miz. He just is not. You got The Miz. You got AJ Styles. They're almost even with each other. The only reason I don't say AJ is even with The Miz is because The Miz has been there longer and the crowd knows him even more as a WWE guy than AJ Styles as a WWE guy. Just because of his amount of time that he has been in the company. Not all around as a real talent in real life. To be honest, AJ Styles trumps The Miz. He just does. But I'm seeing it from a WWE perspective that The Miz is still above him. But only because he's been in the company longer. That's it. But when you saw this situation, it was pretty good. And in the end, we get a... And I was not fond of this when they first announced it. When Daniel Bryan said he wanted to do a fatal four-way with these four guys, I said, no, no, no! Why do a fatal four-way now? It's not what I want to see. I want to see these guys do single matches away from each other. This is what I wanted, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted all four participants to have four matches with four different people, none of them together. None of them teaming or either facing one another. I wanted four separate matches. That's what I wanted. Give each of them a little bit of a shine. Let each of them actually have something to really build on top of. All four of them win their matches would actually be something we don't normally see in WWE. Because you usually see the heels maybe win one, and then you will see all the faces win. I wanted to see all four of them win. It's something you don't normally see. That's what I wanted. But did I enjoy the match? Yes, I did. It was a good match. But I still believe they could have done four individual matches with four different opponents. Baron Corbin with somebody else. The Miz with somebody else. AJ Styles with somebody else. And Dean Ambrose with somebody else. Totally different than who they normally would wrestle. And that would have gave us something entirely different. But that's the way it went. We got the Luke Gallows segment. No, not Luke Gallows. Luke Harper. I'm getting Gallows and Harper mixed up because I really don't care. Was this still a good segment? Yes. If you compare Luke Gallows to Luke Harper is a better talker. He just is. But I really don't care. So when it came to the match of John Cena versus Randy Orton, what did I see? Oh my goodness. Oh, 2009, 2008 booking. The only difference is we got Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper there instead of somebody else that we normally would see. Maybe back then we would have saw members of Legacy. You might have seen Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes there instead of Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. That's what you could have saw that was different. Maybe Batista and Edge. It could have been somebody else. But in the end, it's what you would see back in 2009 and 8. That type of booking. And John Cena wins. Because of help from Luke. Am I interested in seeing the match? No. I wasn't interested in seeing it. If they continue going with this, WrestleMania, hopefully they'll put on a better show than they did there. I'm not saying they did a bad match. It's just that I've already seen it. I've already seen these type of situations, and I'd rather just see them actually have a real match at WrestleMania. They could have waited into WrestleMania, but no. They decided to do this now. Then it would have been something more interesting. They haven't faced each other in pretty much 3 years. It would have been better to leave this alone and not do any matches between them at all. Let them brawl with each other. Let them talk. Why did they have to be a match? Nikki and Natalya. Because we basically have John Cena in this, I have to put Nikki Bella in and get it over with. That segment was too long. Oh! That segment was way too long. Too long. They devoted way too much time. Was it effective? In the beginning? No. In the middle? No. At the end? Yes. So the first part of it sucked. The middle sucked, but at the end it was actually decent. Because what did we get? We got Natalya pretty much saying that you're going to live by yourself alone home. Having nothing after I beat you. The problem I had with it when it came to Nikki was, as I said before, Tyson Kidd should be mentioned. I'm going to put this picture right there. Tyson Kidd should have been mentioned. When she was said, she said, you know what, I'm going to say this honestly. This is for you, Natalya. You should have said this. There's only 2 things you care about. Your wrestling and your man. And you don't got your man here. So now, only thing you got is wrestling. When I beat you, then that's it. You can go back to your crippled man. That would have been something amazing. Something you wouldn't see normally. It would have made better sense to go that dark. Because they're going dark with Natalya going to Nikki to the point where she's saying, you're going to be home alone by yourself. He's going to find another woman. He's going to find another woman. And oh, if I wasn't married, he would be with me. You could say the ending of that entire segment was effective. The rest of it was garbage. But if Nikki Bella had just talked about Tyson Kidd, it would have made better sense. The 12-man tag. What was they thinking? What? The only good thing was that the Ascension won the fucking match. And here's the problem here. Connor and Victor. Also English and somebody, I can't remember his name. Those 2 teams, the Ascension and Vaudevillains, have done nothing for more than a year and a half. The WWE had a chance to take 2 good teams that were maybe not great as talkers. And they're not very well developed as characters. Because even though they were well fleshed out in NXT, they had not been fleshed out on Raw and Smackdown. You could have built them up. Then when you did the brand split, what did you do? Instead of actually going to the Ascension, building them up more, going to the Vaudevillains, building them up more, letting them have in-ring segments like the New Day, kind of like happened with Rhino and Heath Slater. Instead of giving these guys some time in the ring or in the back and you show it on Smackdown, you've done nothing. So what was this for the Ascension? Pretty much nothing unless they win this Sunday. I honestly rather see the Vaudevillains, the Ascension, or the Usos win. Well, actually, as much as I love the Usos, I take that back. Do a Breezango. Do the Vaudevillains, and do the Ascension. You know why? One of those 3 should win because we need something entirely different. Let the more established team job for a little while. Look what they did to the Usos. They jobbed and they came back. Let American Alpha job for a little bit and come back. Let Rhino and Heath Slater job for a little bit and come back. So let these other 3 teams actually do something. It'll be entirely different. Dolph Ziggler versus... You see, I don't want to talk about it. You see, I don't want to talk about it. Because it doesn't interest me. What would have interested me is Dolph Ziggler versus JBL. I may actually put a picture of him there too. I may have to do it. Look, you're trying to make a Dolph Ziggler relevant. He's constantly keep losing. Every time he loses, he doesn't get anywhere, so he lashes out. So he lashed out at Kalisto. He lashed out at I don't hate Apollo Crews and I don't hate Kalisto. I'm just seeing it from the point that he's already done what he needed to do with these two. Having a match with these two at Elimination Chamber as a 2-on-1 handicap match, it may sound interesting on paper, but it does not help Dolph. You want to do something to make Dolph interesting, have JBL as a match, put the King at ringside with him, and then let him work that type of match. I know JBL doesn't get in the ring often. He's not in great shape. But in this case, once in a while he can get in the ring. Unless his health is very bad, and I don't think it is. This would be perfect for Dolph Ziggler. Give him someone that he hasn't wrestled. Then give him someone that he did wrestle and almost killed by accident at ringside, and then that will be a real story. This is not a real story. I didn't care. Even with the tear shots, I didn't care. I just didn't. Now, am I forgetting anything? I gotta make sure. I don't like forgetting things. That's it. The contract. I'm botching because I'm happy to see this. A duo contract signing. We don't normally see this. And even more, we don't see it from the women. So all 4 women came out. Mickie Jane just looked delicious. She came out first, and then we got the wonderful Alexa Bliss. I don't put a picture of Alexa because it's not the point. Then we had Becky Lynch. I mean, I don't hate Becky, but I do believe she needs to turn heel, and she should become what I said. Become a Celtic warrior like Sheamus did back in 2009 and 10. I am a Celtic warrior. I am a female Celtic warrior. I am a true warrior of Ireland, and I will kick your ass. That is how she should be. Wearing a freaking kilt, going to the ring, take the damn thing off like Roddy Piper, and kicking someone's ass that way. Do what the Finley did. Have a freaking shillelagh, and then whack people with it. When do you hear a woman hurt someone with an object? You don't. Please, WWE, try it. Then you have Naomi come out, who the crowd now really has gotten behind. So when they all got into the ring, the one who I really cared the most about, and I'm not hating on Alexa and Becky. I'm not. This is about Naomi and Mickie Jane. Naomi, the most important thing is that for Naomi to be able to talk, to relay herself. Now, was she good? She was okay. Like I've always said, Naomi doesn't often get a lot of time to talk in front of the screen, in front of millions of people live. So she's not that good at it. It doesn't mean she's bad. She's just not good. If she becomes champ, she's going to have to work on it and become good, because if she doesn't relay herself properly, she's going to look bad. But as it stands right now, she's good. But I do believe she needs to become much better. Then it's Mickie Jane. Mickie Jane hasn't been in a WWE ring in 7 years. She's been in TNA and the Indies. It was important for her to nail this promo. She opened with it, and she did nail it. She did a very good job. She was a little slow in her talking, but that was purposely done. Because as a crazy woman, when she used to be super crazy, she used to act like that to a certain extent. So she's still holding with her character. But I agree with Andre Corbett. How you doing, Andre? She's better as a face. She's always been better as a face when she was in TNA, the Indies, and WWE. So I'm hoping eventually she does switch from being a heel to a face soon. Maybe in another 3 or 4 months, I suggest she switches, because she's still good as a heel, but she's way better as a face. When it came down to it, when it came to Naomi saying her lines, she said what she needed to do. She said, I'm going to go to WrestleMania with that title in my hometown. That is where I'm going to go. And then she kicks Alexa in the head, beats her ass. They both get their asses kicked. And that's Alexa and Mickie Jane, and then they leave with the Conquering Heroes standing in the ring of Naomi and Becky Lynch. This is what I'm hoping for. I'm going to say this honestly right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be doing a debate of the week. Right after this. I may release this. I don't really have the time to do my Booking the Wrestler. No, not Booking. I'm thinking doing a Booking Wrestler too. But my Reality of Wrestling, I'm going to see if I can do that tomorrow or Thursday. Unfortunately, I have not had the time, because I have not been able to download it yet. I had a problem with my computer. But I am going to do it. But there's going to be a debate of the week. I don't normally do them. And this is a debate of the week. When you see it, you'll understand my feeling about it. Watch for it. It may come out after this. Because I am doing both the videos at the same time. I'm doing this one, then the other one. But was the show good? It was. Was it solid? It was. And in the end, I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen with Naomi and Alexa Bliss. Am I interested in Becky and Mickie Jane? I'm interested in Mickie Jane, but not that much. And Becky because her character needs to be changed. But in the end, I will be watching Elimination Chamber. Have a good day. Have a good night.